guys, and welcome back to Skins in the Game. We got J-Dubs in the house. How you doing, J-Dub?
I'm hanging in there. Living large.
Good. DC Gamer in the house. How's it going, buddy? We are less than a week from training camp. We are about to get into football season, so that'll be...
We're going to have something to talk about.
Yes. It'll be much easier to find some stuff to talk about. We'll talk about some preseason games or some actual games, some practice, some press conferences. We had some good stuff to talk about for sure. But you can see my background is completely gone. I am moving. We actually did move everything to the new house, but we don't have the internet set up there yet, so I had to keep my computer here for one more week, and then by next week we should be in the new spot. I hope the empty room or the empty house doesn't feel too weird on the microphone. Close that door. Anyway, what up? Just know. All right, we got some good stuff to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about Juan Soto. I just typed in an R instead of just S-O-T-O in my thing. So Juan Soto, we'll talk about him a little bit. Then we'll get into some football stuff. First, talking about what's the most important position to have a successful team. Dad read something on this, so we'll discuss that. We'll look to see what the biggest training camp battles are in Washington. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to end with Weddle, of course. But right before that, we're going to start predicting each division and going through those. So that should be fun. But as always, we start with the dad joke of the week.
All right, before we go into that, by the way, I'm over here, and if I hover over the chat area, it says create a channel to join the chat. It's not letting me join it.
Oh, you're not signed in? You got to be signed in.
I'm always signed in. Jeez.
You are such a boomer. Boomer.
You know what?
He's so worried about wanting to chat, and he just can't figure it out. It's funny because the StreamYard won't let him
maybe I'm
chat.
not logged in. Yeah, but anyway.
It's all good. We'll get it. We'll get that next time. That'll be fun. We're one step closer.
Good. Yes.
We're one step closer. But what's the dad joke of the week?
Okay. Why can't you hear a psychiatrist using the bathroom?
Why?
Because the P is silent. Bam.
That's why we do this. That's what the cringe is. Why we do this. What is Bod his Fatfa? How you doing? All right. What do you got this week?
Okay. I was really stretching. I had a couple different trivia ones. I went with this. This is a two-part question. The one part I don't expect you to get, but the other part I want you to guess. How tall was the tallest player in NFL history? And who
How
is it?
tall is the tallest NFL player in history?
And no looking it up online, people. If you have a guess, you can guess, but if you can't look it up online.
I'm going to guess 6'10".
Nope.
Taller or shorter?
Taller.
Really? I have no clue who this is either. So what? 7 foot?
Yeah, DC Gamer got it. But
Harold Carmichael. Is it that it?
Carmichael was like 6'8".
Okay, so 7 foot is the answer. Interesting.
So listen to this. This Richard Ellis Sly, born in 1944. He was a defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He was chosen in the 10th round of the 1967 draft, and he played in a total of 8 games. And
so he barely counts.
He played for the Oakland Raiders. But
7. And what position did he play, you said again?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive. Man, imagine trying to throw over that bad boy. He puts your hands up and try to throw a slant pass over top of that. That is too funny. Ed Too Tall Jones. That would have been a good guess. I would guess 7 foot, but that would only be a guess. Well, you got it right on the nose there, Bod. Well done.
Just real quick, although I don't know, I don't think this includes everybody, but hold on, let me blow this up so my old eyes can actually see. So Morris Stroud was 6'10". He played for KC. I don't have the background on these guys. Jonathan Ogden for the Ravens was 6'9".
Holy crap! I know Jonathan Ogden. I knew he was a beast too. He won the Super Bowl with them in 2000, didn't he? Wasn't
Yep,
he on that team? Yeah, he was a stud.
he was. And Ed Too Tall Jones is 6'9". And
Oh yeah. What about Harold Carmichael? I don't know. I don't know who this is, but he's
well, the funny thing, he's 6'8".
Oh, okay.
The really interesting thing about Harold Carmichael was Pat Fisher for the Redskins used to cover him, and Pat Fisher was 5'11". That's if he stood on. I think if he stood on his tippy toes. So you had Pat Fisher covering a 6'8" guy and actually covered him.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that was a good one. All right.
So what do you got?
All right. So on the Facebooks, there was this video of this little league baseball team where the bases were loaded, right? And towards the end of the game, like the final inning, I don't know how many innings it was. It could have been a 7, 9, whatever. But point is, the bases were loaded and the pitcher walked the batter. Well, the third base player came and touched home plate, and all the kids celebrated. Well, the batter that got walked never went and touched first.
I saw this, yes.
So it was an abandoned play, and they call him out, and the game continues. Now, in this situation, it wasn't that big of a deal because they were already up by 9 runs or something. I guess they had like a 10-run rule, and if you went up by 10, the game was over. So they ended up still winning the game. But I think that that's a stupid rule. Not for like second inning, third inning, fourth inning. That's fine. Okay. Because if the player abandons it, it's fine. But I think in a walk-off situation, as long as the third base player comes down and touches the plate, it's game over. And I feel like this whole nonsense of forcing him to walk to first to keep the game going is a technicality, stupid, and it reminds me of the NFL that forces the team after the game-winning touchdown, everybody runs onto the field, and now everybody has to leave because we have to kick this stupid, pointless PAT. That's the kind of feel. Do you agree or disagree?
By the way, that's for Vegas, the extra point. So that's a different story. But
yeah. Well, they got rid of it now because now if they score a touchdown, you don't have to do the PAT. They got rid of it a couple of years ago. But for a long time, that's what it was. So do you agree or disagree that baseball should get rid of that rule in a walk-off situation where if the third base player comes and touches home plate, they score the run, game over?
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that it's a kind of a ridiculous technicality. It'd be like, I wonder if it's the same thing if the batter had hit a single and knocked the guy on third in, but the batter never went to first base. Would they call the same call? Or if he hit a home run?
See, to me, that would be different, right? Because in that situation, the ball's live and you could throw him out. So you have to get to first to call it safe. A walk, the defense can't stop a walk. Once you walk them, it's over.
Right.
Like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, oh, you don't give the defense a chance. Like, somebody in the comments, like on my post, was like, oh, well, you didn't get the defense a chance to stop him. It's like, it's a walk. He gets the free base. There's nothing you could do. Like, if he goes and touches it, it's over. I just thought that was, anyway, I've gotten a lot of people arguing with me, and like, I was curious if you would argue with me or not, but clearly we agree, which is 1 in a row.
Yeah, by the way, I thought this is similar to a rule that maybe not similar, but I was recalling when I played softball and we only had 9 guys on our team. So the 10th batter was an automatic out.
Yeah.
And so there was 1 out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on second base and I look at the third base coach and I said, watch. And they got the guy at the plate out. Mm-hmm. Well, I took off from second and ran around and scored. And as I'm running to the home plate, the catcher is standing there going, the next batter is an automatic out. And I said, yeah, the next batter hasn't come up yet. So the referee or the umpire actually left our game and walked to another field to ask the guy and came back. And he said, no, that's a run. Because the play, I never stopped running. They threw the guy out at first and they're all walking off the court, the field like the next guy is an automatic out. And I was
Why is the next guy automatic out?
Because we only had 9 guys, and it's 10 guys on softball. You play 4 outfielders. So we only had 9 guys to field. So the 10th batter
that's the part
was an automatic out. So the 9th batter was up, and they're thinking, if we get this guy, it was 1 out. We get this guy out, next one's an automatic out. We're done. Well, I knew that they were going to think the play was over, and I ran and scored, and the umpire ended up backing me up going, no, the play hadn't ended yet. He kept running, and you guys didn't cover it. So they scored the run. But
well, look at you.
Similar, but somewhat different. Still a technicality that.
All right. I am creating the poll now. We're going to talk about Juan Soto first, but we are going to allow you guys to vote. What is the most important positions in football or position for a football team that you basically, you got to get this one right to work? And the obvious answer probably is QB, but Dad has some stuff on it. So I'm writing down QB, defensive end, offensive tackle, or wide receiver. All right. So you guys.
By the way, Bodhisattva, I'm going to say Bodhisattva because I just like that better. But
yeah,
when Tim, I'm looking at his comment, when Tim was 7 years old, we were actually playing cards or something, and I put on the Major League playoffs.
Yeah.
Tim, you guys know Tim is a sports junkie, and I turned on the playoffs, and he looks at me and he goes, Dad, do we have to watch this?
I hated baseball for so long. And then I got into fantasy baseball last season. And now I do enjoy it a little bit more now that I'm following the players. Now, I still don't really watch baseball, but I follow it a lot more. I still think baseball is not a great product to watch personally. But when I have a player involved, then I'm interested in watching that pitcher or something because I'm trying to, or a batter. But even then, it's like a batter only comes up and plays once every 20, 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, and I agree. To his point, I agree, or to their point, I assume it's a he, but I don't want to be assuming that it is. I enjoy watching baseball live.
Yep.
There's something different about that than watching on TV because it is much like watching paint dry.
Yeah, you can do the gambling and whatnot, different games, and so that's cool. Anyway, Tim got a new house, and I also saw somebody else ask, what about my background? Just for people now in the chat. Yes, I have moved, but we don't have internet there yet, so I haven't actually moved my computer and stuff. But by next week, we should have my room set up and get all my stuff back in the background. So it's not gone, thrown away, or anything like that. It's just
It's just very barren.
Yeah, it is. It is. But we'll get back to somewhat normalcy by next week, hopefully. All right. Juan Soto. We'll talk a little bit. We just talked about baseball and the what do you got? We're going to talk a little Juan Soto. He won the home run derby and turned down a $440 million contract over 14 seasons. Now, that would be the highest contract ever as far as a total dollar, but Mike Trout did get $426 million in 12 seasons. So that would have been a higher year to year for Mike Trout, but that's still a heck of a lot of money offered. And Juan Soto said, nope, I don't want it. Now, and also to add to the drama after that, because he denied the contract before the home run derby, the Nats refused to charter a flight for him to go out to the home run derby. He had to fly commercial because the Nats decided they were not going to help him out in travel to get to the home run derby.
Here's my opinion on that.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't counter, or I'm assuming he didn't counter, was a sign to the Nats that he doesn't want to be there. So maybe that was their shot at like, okay, you've already decided you're not going to be a Nat. If he'd have come back and said, no, if you pay me X over 14 years, then I'll accept it. But apparently he didn't do that. He just said, nope, not taking it. Then I think they were like, okay, screw you. Find your own way there and figure out what team you're going to be on because he's not going to be a Nat. It's sad because I think he's a really, really good player.
Oh, yeah, he's phenomenal and young. He was the second youngest player to ever win the home run derby. And he was actually really smart in this home run derby. I'm assuming you did not watch it, correct?
I did not.
Yeah. So the guy that he beat, Rodriguez, crap, I should have remembered. It's like Julio Rodriguez. I know it starts with a J. He
Sounds
plays for the
right.
Mariners. Rodriguez hit, there's 3 rounds for the thing. So you had to beat 3 different players head to head. In the first 2 rounds, Rodriguez hit more home runs than Juan Soto did in the entire Derby. Juan Soto did the bare minimum to win each round because he was able to go second, and then he beat Jose Ramirez, who's an absolute phenomenal home run hitter, but he didn't do it particularly well. Juan Soto beat Jose Ramirez,
but only by as much as he needed to.
Because
one.
You get 3 minutes to hit as many home runs as you can, and then there's a bonus round with a different set of baseballs for 1 minute. Juan Soto didn't even need the bonus round. He beat him with like 40 seconds left or something like that in the regular. So he just destroyed him. Actually, I might have made that last part up as 40 seconds left. Maybe it was actually closer to the time, but he did beat him in regulation. He didn't need the final minute. The second round, he did need the extra minute, but he ended up beating Pujols 16-15. The first round he won 18-17, then he won 16-15, and then the final round against Rodriguez, he didn't hit a home run for the first 48 seconds. In the final round, you only got 2 minutes to hit as many home runs and then a minute bonus round. He did not hit a home run for the first 48 seconds, and by the time it was 32 seconds, he hit 10. So less time, he hit 10 home runs, but in the beginning, he didn't hit any. So he actually just ended up turning it on, hitting a ton of home runs. Then he ended up winning in the bonus. I think he actually ended up getting 20 home runs because I don't think he was sure where the score was. And he ended up hitting another rocket that they didn't even bother counting because he already got to the 19 and won it all. But Juan Soto, very smart, saved energy where Rodriguez did not save any energy and ends up getting beat. So
here's a little tidbit about the Washington Nationals, which I have not watched. I watched the World Series year. I'm not saying I don't like them, but I just have not watched baseball. They have the worst record in the major leagues by what I would say. They're 27 and a half games out of their division. Their winning percentage is .330. You have Cincinnati Reds is .374, Arizona .435. There's a .344 for the Oakland Athletics, .391.
So you're saying the Nats are the worst team in the league right now?
So yeah, Oakland is not far at 3.44, 3.44, but the Nats are their winning percentage is .330.
Pathetic.
And so my guess is that Juan Soto doesn't want to play for a team that's that bad anymore.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to him, the Nats traded away all their good players.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. When they started trading away Scherzer, they let what's his name? Rendon, Anthony Rendon, right?
Yep.
Rendon walk. They traded away Trey Turner. That one hurt the most to me. They also traded away Schwarber, who was also in the home run derby. So a lot of their players that helped them win the championship are gone. And then Strasburg, since winning the championship and getting that massive payday, I think Strasburg has only pitched like 5 times in the last 3 years. Like, he just cannot stay healthy. He pitched 1 time this year, and in 4 2 innings, I think 4 2/3 innings, he's out again. He's gone. Yeah. And it's like, you paid him $200-something million or $300 million or something like that, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Very frustrating. And I don't blame Juan Soto for not wanting to play here, because it seems like the Lerners just let everybody that was worth anything go.
Well, it's what Peter Angelos did in Baltimore. And I was a Senators fan when I was young, and then they left for became the Texas Rangers. So for a while, I didn't follow baseball, and then I kind of latched on to the Orioles. And in the late 90s, Peter Angelos did the same thing. Basically, sold off everybody. This had a house cleaning and traded everybody away, and then they sucked. And I was like, you know what? I didn't watch baseball again for a long time. Then the Nationals came back around, and I was like, okay, the Senators were the Nats. So it's kind of like, all right, I'll follow them, and they were fun to watch. But now it's like, yeah, I have not watched an inning of the Nationals
this year.
And the sad part, I was going to say with the Orioles, the sad part is they had a 10-game winning streak, and they're still at only 500. They're 46 and 46. So.
James Harden, I just got a notification. James Harden for the 76ers agrees to a 2-year, $68 million contract with the Sixers. So he's staying in Philadelphia, and that's actually not that bad of a contract. Like, players are getting like $45-50 million a year now. That's less than $35 million a year. It's actually a pretty sweet deal for the 76ers.
Oh, honestly. I hope he can. I hope he can live on that.
I know, the poor guy.
Oh my God. We should take up a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
To finance his 25th car.
Oh, too good. All right, so I think Juan Soto will be traded. Just to put a cap on this, I think Juan Soto will be traded. Everybody seems to think. One of the announcers in the Home Run Derby said that they have talked to a few executives, and the executives believe he will not be on the Nats here in 2 weeks. Where is a big question mark. I think the Yankees are interested in him.
That was a shocker.
Yeah, I would like him to go to a team like the Padres, maybe, because the Padres are in competition with the Dodgers right now, and with like Manny Machado and Erickson, Profar, and a couple other guys, and adding a guy like Juan Soto, that could be real. Oh, and then they'll get what's his name back.
Listen to you Tatis. Throwing out all the baseball names.
Because I do fantasy baseball now. I actually know a little bit. It's cool. But anyway, yeah. So that would be interesting for him to go to the Padres. I don't think he's going to go in division, so like he's not going to like the Braves, even though I think they may be interested in him as well, but that ain't happening.
So how much is left on his contract now? His current contract, do you know?
I think this is the final year. I think that's why they're trying to get him now. I think he's on his final year of his.
Well, see, and that's going to be the problem. That's going to be the problem because, well, maybe not, because there's going to be a lot of interest, so they're going to have to fight. So they're going to get interest because of that. But if he walks out the backside of the contract, then the Nationals get nothing. And then he could be, fighting, basically letting the interesting quarters.
I have a fantasy that baseball is interesting to watch.
God, it's so true.
That is funny. That is funny.
Well, and I think, and I have to have, unlike football, I'll watch the football playoffs regardless of who's in it. I would love the Redskins to be in it, but when it comes to playoff time, actually Thursday night football, I'll watch whatever two teams are playing, because it's interesting. Baseball is like basketball with the Wizards, and hockey, I don't watch them until it's the playoff time, and I only watch them if, like as soon as the Capitals are knocked out, I'm done. I don't care who wins. I know this year was a little different because it was our Ohio trip, and your Uncle Don is a Tampa Bay
fan. Yep.
Tampa Bay fan. So we were actually at their RV at Cedar Point, and we watched the game, and it was fun because I was rooting for them. It was fun to watch because they cared. But if it wasn't for them, I'm not watching Tampa Bay in a freaking playoff game. Hockey or baseball for that matter. And we have friends down here that are Mariners fans, and so we've gone out and they've had the
Seattle Mariners.
No. Did I say Mariners?
Marlins.
Did I not say Marlins? Okay, I'm sorry. I meant Marlins.
It's because I was talking about that Rodriguez guy from the Mariners. I think that's probably what.
Okay, but it's the Marlins.
Yeah,
Marlins, and they're local. It's a local team. They like them, so I can root for them. Although they were playing against the Orioles, so it made it even easier to root for them. But anyway, enough about
another
baseball.
Team that's not very good. They're at the bottom of the division too, so they're not a very good team.
Like I said, they had a 10-game winning streak.
Though. Did you watch that Alcantara pitch?
I did not.
Dude, oh my good! Like, he's on a terrible team, but that guy it seems like he always goes into the seventh or goes into the eighth inning to pitch. Like, he's pitching 7 innings consistently. And, like, I think twice this year he's pitched 9 innings and didn't get the win. So, like, you know, like, he
loses 1-0.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the guy is actually a freak. So they have some interesting pitchers down there in Miami, but they just don't have the hitting to help them out. But all right, so we did the poll, and I actually put in a new poll, so you can vote in this, of what's the most important position not named QB to have on your team on this. But so defensive end, offensive tackle, wide receiver. We actually have a 3-way tie early right now between D end, tackle, and wide receiver. But it was like 93% of you said that quarterback is the most important, and I don't have a huge argument. But you did say you read something on who's the most important position?
Oh, I didn't read. I can tell you what I saw.
Yeah.
They have the top 12 positions ranked, and quarterback was number 1.
Okay. Who was number 2 after that?
You want to guess, or you want me to tell you?
All right, here we go. I'll guess. I think the second most important position would be D end. Edge rusher.
Well, that they have as number 3.
So offensive tackle number 2?
Nope. Offensive tackle number 4. That's why I said this is. I don't agree with this, but I'm just telling you what they're saying.
Wow.
Well, if you think about it, if you have a good quarterback, what do you need?
A wide receiver?
Yeah, they're saying wide receiver is number 2. I call horse hockey on that.
I absolutely disagree with that, because Patriots won with no names all the time. Not literally no names, but comparatively to the rest of the league, like Julian Edelman was like their best receiver for a while, or who was the Deion Branch was a solid receiver, but he wasn't the best in the league. And you had to go back to like Marvin Harrison for a long time of who actually won the Super Bowl. Now, Cooper Kupp had a phenomenal this year. They ended up winning. But for a while, it's like Julio Jones never won. Calvin Johnson never won. Andre Johnson never won. Larry Fitzgerald never won. Like, you could go through these top-notch wide receivers over the last couple of decades, and you have to go back to Marvin Harrison of one of the best receivers in the league. But then you had to go back to Jerry Rice before that until this last season.
Well, and I think it's a very subjective ranking, or whatever you want to call it, because I go back to the Ravens with Trent Dilfer, who they went 5 games without scoring a touchdown, and they were winning games 6-3 because their defense was so great.
Another example is the Philadelphia Eagles. They went 12-1, lost their quarterback, and still won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But that being said, the top-notch quarterbacks usually go the farthest. But like, actually think about this year, right? So you had Pat Mahomes. Joe Burrow's an up-and-comer, but he was only a second-year quarterback. You would have Josh Allen above him, or maybe some other ones in the AFC, but probably not now because he went to the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford is solid, but not considered like a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah,
in the league.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
And then Jimmy Garoppolo.
Your favorite.
Yeah, but no Josh Allen, no Tom Brady, no Aaron Rodgers, no Russell Wilson, no Kyler Murray, no Lamar Jackson. Like, there wasn't these top-notch, like, so maybe quarterback. I'm not going to say, I agree. I think quarterback is the most important, because if you have a top-notch quarterback, you always have a chance to win a game. Like, it's so important. That's
just
why,
look at Peyton Manning lost, Peyton Manning won a lot of games 42-35.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. It's interesting. But I would go, my second most important position would be defensive end. Then I would go offensive tackle. Wide receiver would be way down the list to me. But I think that also is because there's so many good receivers in the league. Like, most teams have a really good receiver. Like, the Ravens don't have a great receiver. Like, there's maybe like a couple of teams here or there that don't have somebody that's considered a true number 1. But most teams, I would probably say at least 27 out of the 32 have a really good receiver, if not a good receiving duo on their team. So I just don't view that as such an important position, because there's so many, and it's kind of like running back, right? There's so many great running backs out there that I wouldn't consider that a high value position.
they got running back at number 9. They have tight end in front of safety at tight end is number 10. Safety is number 11.
Okay.
Offensive guard is number 12.
I agree with that. Guard is the least important. I agree.
Yeah. So defensive tackle is 5, cornerback is 6, linebacker is 7, and center is 8. I mean, I guess center is important.
Right.
So, but again, it's all subjective. I mean,
well, yeah, because there's the angle of, okay, so you can say a receiver is so important, right? And obviously, yeah, it's nice to have a wide receiver, but that's where I'm saying I would go with but there's so many out there to get. I don't feel like it's important, just like a running back. Whereas I think tight end actually would be higher on my list personally, because a real, true dual threat tight end is one of the most dangerous positions in football. And if you look at like the Super Bowl champions of the recent years, you have guys like Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, George Kittle didn't win, but he went. We have guys like this year they didn't have a great tight end for the Rams, so this would be more of an anomaly. But Zach Ertz for the Eagles,
right? But Rodgers' point,
yeah,
that if you have an Adrian Peterson, where they got to stack the box with 8, you can have a relatively mediocre wide receiver that's playing one-on-one that's going to be able to get open. And if they're stacking the box against a dynamic running back, I think that's a valid point. So,
yeah, but there's just so many out. That's what I was, like. Yes, it's nice to have a great running back. Like the Titans having Derrick Henry helps them out big time. I mean, the guy's just massive and runs people over.
Except not in the playoffs.
True, but they were the number 1 seed in the AFC 2 years ago, and Ryan Tannehill was meh at best. It's really the Derrick Henry show over there. So it's nice to have a top-notch running back, but I don't rank running back high at all. I would have them.
No, all I'm saying is,
yeah,
if you have a really, really good running back, again, to Rodgers' point, then a wide receiver is not that important. I'm not saying, excuse me, if you have a good offensive line and a good running back, then that lessens the importance of a really, really good wide receiver, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying to rank running backs high, but
yeah,
like I said, that dynamic running back that can find the open hole and is fast, then wide receiver becomes a lot less critical to have a tier 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them out there. You're right.
Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, all of these receivers in the last 3 Super Bowls alone. And you can even keep going. Like Jamar Chase is an absolute stud that was in the Super Bowl this year. T. Higgins, awesome. Tyler Boyd. Like you can keep going with a lot of really good wide receivers. And Tyreek Hill is a stud, but are they really winning because of the Tyreek Hill thing, or is it because of Pat Mahomes? But anyway,
I told you they'd figure Patrick Mahomes out, by the way.
Right.
Just saying.
I don't know. It's interesting. But anyway, we will see how good Tyreek Hill is without that QB that can spread 5 to 7 seconds running around before throwing. Yeah, and also who can throw off his back foot 70 yards downfield.
Yeah. Or throw with his left hand if he needs to.
True. Or no looking. Not looking. Yeah.
Just like, oh, here you go.
You've seen the Pat Mahomes no look pass, right?
Oh yeah.
Where he literally against the Ravens, it was right on the money. It's nasty. And then Aaron Rodgers came out.
Yeah. That was not as good as Fitzpatrick getting face masked and threw the ball like 30 yards down the field.
Screw it, he's open.
He's out there somewhere just
That's funny. That is funny. All right, let's continue on here. What's up, everybody? All right. Oh, let's see the poll. All right, offensive tackle ended up winning out in the vote. So offensive tackle got 40% of the votes. Wide receiver. Oh, wait, somebody just put in a vote for wide receiver. So offensive tackle and wide receiver is now tied at 36%, D end at 18%, which is funny because I said D end was number 2 and then tackle number 3. So people don't agree with me on the
So wait, are
end
you saying the
portion.
quarterback is still number one, or is quarterback?
Yeah, quarterback's number one. Quarterback's number one.
I figured that. Okay, I just wanted to confirm.
All right. The biggest training camp battles for the Washington Commanders. And the first one that came to mind was the linebacker spot. And then I said, you know what? That actually really isn't an interesting battle when I look forward. And yes, if you look at it as a 4-3 defense, the third linebacker is a little bit interesting. Who will win that third linebacker spot? But it's becoming well known now that they're only going to go for a 2 linebacker set a majority of the time. So in that case, Cole Holcomb and Jamin Davis are the obvious starters. And I think David Mayo, Khaleke Hudson make the team. And then I think nobody else makes it. I think they ended up cutting everybody and then signing another linebacker. So I actually don't think linebacker is too interesting when I actually started thinking about it, right?
Makes sense.
After that, I think the most interesting, because it is a starting position and it's the biggest question mark. Now, we just talked about it. It's the least important position, but who will be the starting guards for our team? And it's between 3 guys: Andrew Norwell, who we signed pretty cheap, Trey Turner, who we signed pretty cheap, and then the guy that we kept being Wes Switzer. Right now, ESPN has Norwell and Switzer listed as the 2 starting guards, but I actually would take Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner as the 2 starting guards. I think Wes Switzer will be our swing guard. Even though I like Switzer, I like how much energy he plays with, how much heart, how much passion. He goes hard over there, but he's still just not the most talented individual. Not the biggest, not the strongest, but he just plays with high intensity. But Trey Turner is a 5-time Pro Bowler in Ron Rivera and John Matsko's system. And then Andrew Norwell, we brought over, who was actually a pretty decent guard last year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I think it's going to be Norwell and Turner, personally.
So wait, who's Anthony Barr?
Anthony Barr is another linebacker. We may be interested in a veteran linebacker. I would not be surprised at all. But I kind of would be surprised if they bring him in really early. I think this is going to be a later in the preseason type move because they want to give these young guys, because they have like 3 or 4 undrafted free agents, and they have Milo Eifler, who's a second-year player, Dijon Harris. Well, I don't think these guys are really going to do much for us, and I don't think they're going to make the team. I think they want to give those young guys an actual chance to make the team, see how they act in preseason games, see how they play, how they respond, all that good stuff, how they pick up the defense. So I would be surprised if they bring in a veteran early and not give these young guys a legit chance to earn a spot, is where I see.
Okay.
Because also, if you bring in an Anthony Barr and we go with a 2 linebacker set, who's going to start? Because right now, I still think they like Cole Holcomb and Jamin Davis. I don't think Anthony Barr starts over those guys necessarily, because they like how youthful they are. They like their talent. Then do we start going to more 4-3 and then Barr comes on? I don't know. It starts to get awkward. I think they're going to bring in late, is my opinion.
Well, then I always have the question. The Gridiron Yuki said he played for the Vikings. I always go to why'd the Vikings let him go?
Well, he's older now. How old is Anthony Barr? He's a veteran.
Well, I get that, but if he's somebody, maybe
he's 30 years
an
old
upgrade.
now.
Maybe he's an upgrade from what we have, which the Vikings don't need. So that might be, but I always wonder that, where it's like, oh yeah, we should sign this player. Well, why'd the other team let him go? You have to ask that question. So, but anyway. Oh, really? Anthony Barr is going to start. Gridiron makes a bold prediction.
So does that mean Jamin Davis goes to the bench? Are you really moving your first-round pick to the bench for Anthony Barr?
Well, he's a rookie, so, he needs some time to learn.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. All right. The next one that's interesting is to me, is the wide receiver position. There's a lot of guys that potentially could make this squad, but I think the obvious ones, of course, are Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson are your starters. Cam Sims, your big man. De'Ami Brown, your third-round pick from last year. Right now, you have 4 guys, and I know AGG is trying to make the move to tight end, but I don't really see him making the team as a tight end either, so he might be out.
Well, I heard he's trying to bulk up. He's trying to get up to 250.
Oh, that'd be good for him. That'd be good. So then you have Dax Milne, 7th-round pick, Kelvin Harmon, and Alex Erickson, who's the punt return specialist. I want Kelvin Harmon to make this team, but he may be the odd one out because I think they're only going to keep 7 wide receivers. I don't think they're keeping 8.
So if I counted right, then you're saying they're going to keep 2 out of these 4.
Correct. And I think I would like it to be Erickson and Harmon, but I think it might be Milne and Erickson would be my guess.
Okay.
But that's definitely going to be one to keep an eye out for.
Make a note of that so we can hold you to it.
Yes. Make the note. Hold me accountable. The tight end spot is interesting as well because Logan Thomas is still a big question mark of whether he would be healthy. I think if Logan Thomas was healthy, this is not really interesting at all. I think it's going to be Logan Thomas, John Bates, Cole Turner. But what makes it interesting is keeping an eye on Logan's injury. And if he starts the season on the PUP list, Sammis Reyes could find a way to make this team. And I hope he continues to evolve. The guy is super strong, super athletic, just needs to learn how to play football. He's the foreign player, international player program guy that they got for the tight end spot. He used to play basketball. He had a couple of bobbles in the preseason last year with his catching ability. Strong blocker, though. I'd like to see, which that was what I was more worried about as a basketball player. Basketball players don't push guys out of the way that want to get around you. But I actually trusted his hands. I trusted his footwork, trusted his speed. The thing I didn't trust was, can he actually get down in a 3-point stance and move a defensive end? And he actually showed that he could in the preseason last year. He was super strong. So I like him.
Okay.
Next up, I have the safety position is really interesting for 2 reasons. Percy Butler is the guy we drafted in the 4th round. Does he find a way to get a starting position at free safety, which is the position that we need, and then Cameron Kroll gets to start and Bobby McCain gets relegated to the nickel corner or the dime defense corner, and he doesn't really play as much safety as a starting safety or not. We did sign Bobby McCain to a 2-year, $11 million contract, which says he should be a starter. But I would be curious if this young buck, Percy Butler, that a lot of people had great things to say coming out of this draft, that he was the best true free safety after Kyle Hamilton in this entire draft. And free safety is what we've needed desperately for so long. We've let big play after big play after big play. Landon Collins was terrible at it last year. That's going to be interesting. But then also, who's going to get that 4th safety spot? I think we're going to keep 4 safeties. And does Derek Forrest find a way on this team, or does Jeremy Reeves keep his spot? That's going to be a big battle, I think, between those 2 to see who actually makes this team. Continuing on, we're going to stay in the secondary. Corner also has a starting position battle, I think. Benjamin St-Juste, the rookie last year, he had some concussions. He was in and out of the lineup last year, where Kendall Fuller dropped a ton of picks. Now, he was rated high, so it's hard for me to say that Kendall Fuller is definitely going to get benched for him, but I don't think William Jackson is going to get benched. I would like to see Benjamin St-Juste steal that spot, but apparently they don't like Kendall Fuller in the slot as much anymore, so they're going to keep him outside, and maybe Benjamin St-Juste will stay in the slot. We'll see. And I don't hate Benjamin St-Juste in the slot either because he's got great quickness, long arms. That's going to be the one to look for. But then who's going to get the last corner spot? I think they're going to keep 6 corners. Troy Apke, who's going to be on the team because he's so great at special teams.
How the hell does he stay around?
Yeah. It's all special teams. So it's going to be Kendall Fuller, William Jackson.
Our special teams has been unbelievably dominant. Just saying.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, got to keep
Kendall
him
Fuller,
around.
William Jackson, Benjamin St. Just as your starting 3 corners. Troy Apke at the 4th. Really, he's actually going to be the 6th corner, but he's just a special teamer. And then it's Danny Johnson, Corn Elder, and Christian Holmes, the 7th round pick that we drafted. I think Christian Holmes is a great scheme fit for this team. I just don't know if he's talented enough to actually make it right away. He may go to the practice squad, in my opinion, and we keep Danny Johnson and Corn Elder.
Sorry, I just saw.
Yeah.
So here, I propose a new drinking game.
Yes.
Every time Troy Apke makes a tackle on special teams, you got to chug whatever drink you have.
If you see it, you got to chug it. How many tackles did he last year? Can I look at his stats? Hold on.
I was going to say, I want to hear the announcer has to say, great tackle by Troy Apke. And then you have to, whatever drink you have to drink the whole thing. And
did
something
he get
tells
hurt
me,
last year?
I don't know. I don't recall hearing his name a lot last year, but I could be missing something.
Oh, he ended up getting hurt last year. I didn't even realize that. He only played 6 games, but you want to take a guess at how many tackles?
3.
6.
So 1 tackle a game.
Troy
Apke is a future MVP.
1 tackle a game is all he got last year. An elite special teamer. Elite.
Bodhisattva got exactly what I was saying. We'll be sober as a judge. Bingo. That's what my point was.
You'll drink 1 beer a game. 1 beer. 1 beer a game.
Or maybe we ought to reverse it. Every special teams play that Troy Apke does not make the tackle, you got to chug your drink.
Oh my gosh, we'd be falling over. Yeah, every punt that he does not make the tackle. That's funny. But 6 tackles in 6 games. Yikes.
It's impressive.
Well, you won't get a buzz from drinking that if you're waiting on Apke. Yeah. Apke needs to go to the USFL. Yeah. Troy Apke, future MVP. I love it. Are you trying to kill us? Says Redskins fan 10 with your drinking game. That's hilarious. All right. The last position that I thought about talking about is the defensive line group. All right. The defensive line group. You have the obvious starters with Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. The backups, you also have Fadarius Mathis, Casey Toohill, James Smith-Williams, I think make this team, which would give us 7 defensive linemen. Excuse me. I think we're going to keep at least 9 defensive linemen.
I would think
at least 9.
About right.
So that leaves 2 spots for people to grab. And it's probably going to be one of them are going to be a defensive tackle, so an interior defensive tackle, and the other one will be another rotational outside guy. You have David Bada, Daniel Wise, Boonmi Rotimi, and Shaka Toney. I think are your 4 to keep an eye on of who's going to earn 2 of those spots. Now, we may be able to keep 3, but I don't know. Go ahead.
I say it's the last 2 just because I like their names.
Shaka Toney and Boonmi Rotimi?
Yep.
Well, right now, they're the ones listed the last. I think Shaka Toney does make this team because also I think he could play special teams. He's also a dual threat of a 3rd down defensive end who can get after the quarterback, but also he could basically play linebacker. He's that size for linebacker. Boonmi Rotimi. What are these names? Over the years, what is your favorite? This has just got me thinking of that. What's your favorite name that's been on the Redskins? Or Commanders?
The Redskins.
Yeah, your favorite name that you've heard.
In this house right here on this stream, we can call them the Redskins.
Oh, I don't care if I offended anybody. I'm just saying both.
Sway Run just posted Commanders find Deron Payne's replacement.
Sway Run has the most clickbait titles you've ever seen. But all right, what's your put in your chat too? What is your favorite name that's come through the Washington Redskins or Commanders. And you know what? You can put it around the NFL too if you've heard some funny names around there. But I have
Suck
one
up.
for our teams. Oh, Ryan Suckup. You like that one?
Yeah, I like
Suck it up.
suck up. Yeah.
Or how about Chris Blewett? Our other kicker. That's a good one, right? Chris Blewett, if you want to go the kicker route, that's a good one. My favorite, Cameron Cheeseman, dude. Cameron Cheeseman had me geeking when we drafted him. I was so mad, but it was so bad. It was so bad. But whatever. What are you gonna do? Cooley. That's a good one. Red Wing said I was gonna say Blewett. Well, here's a name that a lot of you may have forgot. You like George Kittle, like Skittles, I guess. Dick Deer Slayer. What? Is that's not a name?
Guy Whimper. Scooby, right?
Scooby, right? Are these real names? Or are you guys just saying things now? Here's mine. You ready for mine, Dad? I don't know if you remember this guy. Fish Smithson was a legit name for the Washington Redskins a couple of years ago. Fish Smithson. Football safety. Here he is. Fish Smithson is my favorite over the years. It's what a name this was. Fish Smithson. He's a year younger than me. 1 year younger, 94. But I don't. Does he play? He also played for the Bills. So former American football. So he doesn't play anymore. He's 28 years old. But he was a guy that we had on the team for a bit. Fish Smithson. That's a name. He played for the Browns at one point, though. That's true.
All right, I'm looking. I actually pulled this up on.
Remember Fish? Yeah.
12 NFL players with brilliantly unusual names.
Okay.
The Brickashaw Ferguson.
Okay, I like that one.
Greedy Williams.
Oh, Greedy Williams plays for the Browns. Yeah, that's a good one.
Prince Tega Wanogo. Juju Smith. We all know him.
Yep.
Agbonia Okoronkwo. Rock Yasin.
Yep.
Safety. Equanimous St. Brown.
Oh, yeah. And his brother. Do they have his brother's name in there too?
They do not.
No, wait, never mind. His brother's name's just Amaron St. Brown, I think. But yeah, Equanimous St. Brown's a heck of a name. That's a good one.
See if I can find any other good ones. But go ahead. I don't want to. Oh, Dick.
No, you're
Dick
good. We can keep going. All right. So those are the battles to watch. Guard, wide receiver, the backup wide receiver, starting guard, starting safety and backup safety, defensive lines backups of who's going to make the team, and corner. Mostly to keep an eye on is the back end of the corner position, but I would also see where they end up starting Benjamin St. Goat, as we like to call him on the channel. All right, so that's one of those. All right. To end each show, we're going to do a game of Weddle like we always do. But right before that, we're also now going to do, up until the season starts, we're going to predict each division. We're going to go through one division a week and predict the rankings of that division 1 through 4. All right. So we're going to end with the NFC East later, but we're going to start with the AFC, starting with the AFC East. So we got the Bills.
Farthest point from the AFC East.
Yes.
Or NFC East, sorry.
Yep. The Bills, the Pats, the Jets, and the Dolphins are the 4 teams in that division. Where do you got them ranked?
All right.
We'll start with 4. Who do you have at 4? Who's at the bottom of this division?
The Jets.
Yeah, I agree. The Jets need another year or two. I like Zach Wilson, and I like their Robert Saleh, their head coach, but lacking in talent. But they had a really good draft this year. They got who's the player they drafted? They drafted second. No, they drafted third. Because Jacksonville got Trey Walker. Hutchinson went to the Lions. Oh, no, did they get the corner? No, I'm forgetting who they drafted. Crap. Oh, did they get the corner? Stingley? No, they got the corner Sauce Gardner from. That's what Houston got Stingley. Sauce Gardner went number 4 overall. Then they got Garrett Wilson, who I thought was one of the best receivers in this draft. I loved Garrett Wilson. Jermaine Johnson is steal at pick 26 as a defensive end. Breece Hall, an incredible running back. The tight end Jeremy Rutkert was great. So they killed the draft, honestly. So they're doing good things, but for now I have them at the bottom of this division as well. All right, I'll go next with number 3. I got the Dolphins at number 3. I think the Dolphins will end up at number 3. Who do you got at number 3?
I got the Patriots.
Ooh, Patriots.
I think Bill Belichick is. I think he's on his way out, and he's one of the most brilliant coaches, but his coaching style is conducive to winning. And when he's not winning, I think the players are going to get his, heart. When the Patriots were flying high, he could be whatever he wanted, and all the players bowed to him. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, okay, you're not winning now, and now you're just being an a-hole. So I think they're going to be second from the bottom.
Wow. Ryan Clark is apparently doubting Bill Belichick's play calling. I don't know. They still found a way to go, 10-7 last year with a young team that's not maybe the most talented. I don't know. I think they still find a way to get the second in the division, and that's where I have them, and I have Bills as number 1.
All right, so Roger's saying the Bills are going to fall off the map.
I completely disagree with that. I think he's on crack cocaine.
I like this. Gridiron. Roger, what are you smoking? Cigarettes. I can relate, yeah. Roger, just so you know.
Is it because they lost Brian Dable for the Bills? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Go ahead. Who do you have as second in the division?
Dolphins.
Okay. So then Bills will take it for, I think, the 3rd year in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
They're awfully good. I mean, maybe, and to Roger's point, I know there's very few teams that can recycle and keep it going. I just don't think they're at that point yet. So I think they're just going to be really,
well,
really
they got
good.
Von Miller. They still have Allen and Stephon Diggs. They're getting Tre'Davious White back. Last year, he was hurt for most of the year. They still have Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, which is one of the best safety duos in the league. Like, who did they draft this year? I don't remember their.
I don't know, but they're a lot of fun to watch. Just watching a really, really good team. It's so fun. It's like Kansas City. Kansas City's just a really good team. It's just fun to watch those two teams go at it, where it's just you got two teams just duking it out, and they're just really, really good. I really miss the days of the Redskins. I know that was before your day, so.
Oh, they got Kair Elam rather from Florida in the first round. They did need another corner aside Tre'Davious White. But this team is legit. I don't know what he's smoking. They just got Tim Settle as well as a rotational defensive tackle. They still have Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Shaq Lawson, Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds, Von Miller now. I don't know what you're thinking over there. Offensively, they're still studly. They just got James Cook in the draft from Georgia. Gabe Davis could have a huge year who finished strong. They got Jamison Crowder in the slot now. They got your boy, didn't you like Khalil Shakir in the draft? I could be wrong. But Dawson Knox, OJ Howard. No, wait, you liked the tight end Isaiah Likely. Never mind. But I liked Shakir. I thought that was a nice pickup. I think they got in the 4th round. But Dawson Knox and OJ Howard is a nice tight end duo. This team is dangerous. I love Spencer Brown from University of Northern Iowa, I think he was from. Spencer Brown, who was an absolute mammoth of a dude. He's like 6'7", 6'8", 320 pounds, but moves like a tight end. He's so quick. He just needed to learn the position coming out of college. Like, you could tell he didn't really trust where he knew the quarterback was going to be. He wasn't polished enough, but he's a guy that's an absolute stud. I think the Bills arguably are the best team in the AFC. They're so good. I would put them as the best team in the AFC. I think they're the number one team in the conference, arguably in all of football. They are legit. All right.
So close to KC. But wait a minute. Redskins, man, this bit he wants to talk about how, so what's the deal with the throwbacks and how, I mean, I know they're talking about all the new designed helmets and how the Redskins can never do a proper throwback. Well, they can't do it. Can they do anything right?
Well, they just will never be able to do a proper throwback because, I mean, we don't have an R anymore. We're a C. We can't do Native American imagery, right? Because you can't do the arrow.
They'd have to do the spear. You'd have to do the spear.
You can't do the spear. That's Native American imagery.
And the R, you're right.
Because we're not an R team anymore. Yeah, like how are you going to do a throwback helmet?
So how did the Seminoles get away with this?
The Florida Seminoles?
Yeah.
Or Florida State Seminoles, rather. They get away with it because the Seminoles tribe have been very involved with.
Yeah, but they have the spear. My point is they have the spear on the side of there. I think that's, if they're going to go down the road of retro or throwback, that is the only option they have. And if they can't do that, then you're right.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Florida State Seminoles, like the reason they can get away with all this stuff is not because they're not allowed to do Native American imagery. They've donated a lot to the Seminole tribe, and they've done a lot for the Seminoles, so that's what they're saying in there.
I get what you're saying, but if we've been reduced, or have we been reduced to the point where you can't put a spear on the side of your helmet with a feather coming off of it, we got bigger problems than throwback uniforms.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks
because there's nothing derogatory, right? Am I missing something here?
I don't know. I guess because it goes back to the racial slur in their mind is so like you can't go back to that since it was tied to this horrible name. Like it's stupid. The whole thing's stupid. Let's get to Weddle. All right, give me a player, Dad. Anybody in the NFL on offense? Don't say Dak Prescott.
Patrick Mahomes.
I think you said that last week too. Give me somebody else.
I didn't. Did I? All right. Josh Allen.
All right, Josh Allen. We just talking about them. That's a good one. Josh Allen. Ooh, we got a QB. And in the AFC East.
Well, there you go.
Well, that should be easy. It's either Tua, Mac Jones, or Zach Wilson. Does any of these give me any details? I think they're all below 17. And I think they're all below 26. And they're all below 6'5". So I have no details of who it could be.
I'll go with Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, okay. Oh! On the second try. Well done. All right, let's play the hard mode. Give me
where's the mic? Where's the mic drop?
Yeah. All right, give me anybody here. Anybody in the NFL.
Micah Parsons.
All right, Micah Parsons. What do we got? All we got is 6'3". So it's an AFC team. It's not on defense. They're over 23, but they have a number that's pretty low. I'm going to go with.
Wait. Why do you think it's not on defense?
Because linebacker's not yellow.
Oh, it would have been. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So it's an offensive player. I think it's got to be a wide receiver. In the AFC, I'm going to go with who's a 6'3". I'm going to go with Gabe Davis or Gabriel Davis. Oh, Gabriel Davis. I disagree. Hold on.
Tim's on a mission.
He's only 6'2". I swore Gabriel Davis was 6'3".
An AF.
Only 6'2". I thought he was a really tall receiver. All right, whatever. I swore Gabriel Davis was 6'3". That bothers me. All right, so it's not in the AFC East. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a low number. Gabriel Davis was not. I knew he was 13, so that was a bad guess in general. I was just going off 6'3" in the AFC. 6'3" receiver in the AFC.
Wait, it doesn't have to be a receiver.
Oh, wait, it's not a receiver anymore. You're right. Wait a minute. How is this possible? Linebacker and wide receiver? Is it a special teamer? Can you do kickers?
Trust Way.
Can you do kickers?
Yeah.
You can. It is a kicker. It is a kicker. Interesting.
Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker. It is a kicker, not in the AFC North. Who's a tall kicker? Who in the world's a big kicker? I don't really look at height and weight for kickers. Okay. Who's an AFC kicker that's... Oh, wait. What about McManus? Is Brandon McManus tall? Bang!
Boom.
Brandon McManus.
See, we make a good team.
I thought he was pretty tall.
I straightened you out about the wide receiver thing. You were gonna guess like 4 more wide receivers.
Probably until I saw that. I mean, 6'3" with a low number. I'm like, oh, that has to, and not defense. I was like, oh, it's got to be offense, or it's got to be wide receiver. But no, it's a kicker, and we got Brandon McManus. There you go. And I'm good. I like this. I feel like that 5 on this is respectable.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't have done Trustway. I just did Trustway because you just said it. I was like, yeah, because I didn't even know if you could do punters and kickers on Weddle.
No, and I knew as soon as I said it, it was like, no, it's AFC. But I thought,
yeah,
that was the first one, obviously, that came to mind. So,
all right, we did it in 5 today, and that is Weddle, and that is a show. Any last things to say over there, Daddy-O?
Just how much the chat makes me laugh. There's so many great comments. Yeah. I'm over here chuckling under my breath. You guys keep it up. You make my day with the humor. It's hilarious.
Awesome.
And by the way, I'm going to patent the drinking game with Troy Apke. I'll figure out. I don't want to kill anybody, and I don't want them to walk out sober, so I'm going to have to try to find the happy medium. But I'll see if I can come up with something.
If you have a Tressway sighting, take a nice chug. Not even a tackle, just if you see him on the field.
Troy Apke.
Did I say Chase Young? Why did I say Chase Young?
You said Trust Way.
Oh, okay. That makes sense because we were just talking about Trustway here. Okay, that makes a little sense, but not a lot. Okay, there it is.
All right. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
1982 skins on Madden. That's kind of cool.
I cannot wait until we actually have football to talk about.
I know we're a week away, less than a week away from training camp. Remember, a reminder, August 6th, I will be at the Washington practice thing. I think it's supposed to be against another team, but I will be at that event, which will be fun. Me and my wife will go, and also my buddy Jake and whoever he wants to invite.
By the way, I think you might want to consider having a raffle on which Redskin player is going to hit another Redskins player first. And I don't mean hitting, and I mean the first fisticuffs on the practice field.
Oh, interesting.
I think there's going to be
first fight.
And you know what? I think that's a sign of passion, and I like it. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be 2 guys, and I don't think it's going to be Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. I think it's going to be somebody else, but somebody's going to hit somebody else, and Ron Rivera is going to go, I like the passion.
Oh, okay.
They just need to channel it. But anyway.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you, everybody that hung out in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. You can hit the like button and subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Eventually, once I get settled into my new house, there will be more content on this channel for the football season for sure.
And more content on your wall.
More content on my wall. Exactly. But it was a lot of fun as always. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, J-Dubs. And until next time. See ya!